Sounds good, Eric. You there? Graham, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, hi.
I'll take code 1 then.
Yes, you're in.
Yeah.
Eric, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You guys ready?
Yeah, testing okay.
Yes. Eric, can you talk a little so we can test again?
Yeah, here, table 2, getting ready for the semifinal match.
Perfect.
Sounds good,
great.
Eric. Yeah,
Good.
great. Let's get this show started. We're gonna do a small announcement introducing the players. Let me think. Okay, we're gonna do the clip first, then we do the introduction, and then you can start with the commentary.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Okay. Bye. 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 Good luck.
presented by the City of Tallinn and part of the Predator Eurotour series. On table 2 we have the first men's semi-final. Introducing Tallinn's very own Dennis Graber. And from Germany, playing his first Eurotour semi-final, Yuma Dorner. On table 1, we have the first of the women's semi-finals. Introducing, from Germany, Pia Filler. And her opponent, from Austria, Sandra Baumgartner.
Well, hello everyone, welcome. We're here in Tallinn for the final day of this Predator Arc Estonian Open on the Predator Tour number 2 stop. The game is 8-ball and this is the first of the men's semi-finals match. And what a match we have. We have Dennis Graber, the home man from Estonia, facing the young and just recently crowned European 9-ball under-23 champion from the European Championships, Yuma Dorner. This will be a very interesting match for sure. My name is Graham Hickman, joined in the booth with a good friend Eric Horlifson, and we will be talking you through all the shots and excitement during this match. Welcome, Eric. How are you doing? What's your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, good to be with. Excuse me, good to be with you guys again. I know Yuma's name. I know he's an up-and-coming player on the overall tour. Not as familiar with him as Dennis, as most people would be, but looking forward to a good one here.
Yeah, he's definitely doing well. He's won a few medals over the last few years, been on the growth junior side, if you call it, a few golds, silvers, so this will definitely be an interesting match. And as you say, Dennis is incredibly well known, but he's also been playing extremely well these last week or so, I would say. So let's have a look at Dennis's first break. It is alternate break. Each player does have 2 breaks, so this will be the first of Dennis's. And wow, what a break to start off with as well, especially if that 9-ball goes. So big first break from Dennis here. Wide open table. There is a bit of a problem at the top with the 2 and the 12, but looking at this layout, yeah, he might even be forced into taking stripes here. I don't know if the 6-ball goes in the top. How do you see this one, Eric?
Yeah, the 112 are going to be a big problem for Dennis. He's got this. He's got the 6 in the top right as an opener. He's got the 15 as well. Just trying to think of balls that can actually develop the 112 down there. Nothing real obvious. If you got on the right side of the 3, you could move the cue ball to the left towards that stack.
Yeah, it's a good call. I do like that 3 into the 1, but the angle he does have on the 6 is not ideal to get over there. He might be forced into trying something with stripes, but then he's got a few more problem balls as well. It's not just that 12.
Yeah, it's kind of the disadvantage of making a couple of bow suits on the break. Only has 5 of each on the table.
I wonder if he can pot this 6-ball and roll up for the 4 in the side. What do you think about that, Eric? Do you think he can get up there and have a shot on the 5 to leave that angle on the red?
It's a good call. I mean, looks like he's trying something like that. However it was going to go, he was going to have to eliminate 2 more balls before even trying the breakout. So that was the disadvantage of this rack, and that's what he was trying to get around, but there was just no way to get into it on the first shot.
Yeah, can he punch this across with left-hand
Looks
spin?
like he
He's
can.
trying. Maybe.
He's on the 4 still. And
Yeah,
he's
it's not
opened
too
up the
bad.
1 enough. Yeah, he's opened up the 1 enough to be able to pocket it.
I think.
Might be clipping the 12 on the way back up table, but he'll be happy with this.
Yeah, I think if he can land pretty nice on the 1 where the 12 is, it's not terrible, but he might have a. Oof, just dropped that one in. He might have a little bit of a longer 8 ball unless he tries to give it a lot of left-hand spin and come all the way around the table. I think this is a key shot here.
Yeah, just looking to contact the 12 thinly enough here that he can kind of stay on the left side and maintain momentum towards the 8. Looks possible.
Yeah,
Worst case is that he misses the 12 on the way in and then catches it on the way out, but I think he's okay. Doesn't want to cross over too much. And he has a little bit. This is a heavy back cut, Graham.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, Eric. Because of how close the 12 was, he did have a shot to play it like this, but play the 8 in the side. But that was definitely flirting with a lot more danger. This is thin, but makeable.
Got to make sure he avoids the scratch. If anything, the cue ball's going to the short rail here. Looks like he's going to play off the 11. I think he's playing into too much of a scratch in the bottom left with the cue ball.
Yeah, I think so. This could go wrong. It's hard to judge this. Oh, what a shot there.
What a shot.
Wow, what a great shot that was. It's really tough to judge them ones, Eric, when the balls are quite far from the pocket as well.
No doubt. It's all feel on that one. Not a shot that is by any means routine. Good opening rack from Dennis.
Yeah, just what he needed. And I think this is the way I've seen Dennis has been breaking extremely well. He's had a few quick results where he's won quite convincingly, so that tells me he's playing very solid, and I do think Dennis is one of the quickest of the players in the 8-ball and rotation games. He's just so quick, doesn't hang around.
Yeah, no worry for the shot clock for him.
Quick view on the other table there. Pierre Filler, playing Baumgartner in the other ladies' first semi-final. And following this one, we will have the other men's and the following women's other semi-finals. But Dennis looking for another big break, trying to get them 2 balls just below the head ball there in the centre pockets. Ooh, nearly makes one. This could be a dry break. Oh, last ball rolling. What a break though, goodness me. He's spoiled for choice here, I think, Eric. He can solids or stripes. Both have a lot of connecting balls. What would be your preference?
Leaning towards stripes here. Just move up towards the 14. Ideally getting on the 10 as quick as possible, but it's not a trouble ball at all.
Yeah, they just split so nice. There's hardly any traffic in some of the connecting shots, so he's got some quite good open space. One good shot here on that 10, and you could even leave that till the end, really. Just get down for these 3 balls at the bottom of the table. Spoiled for choice here, Eric. Spoiled for choice.
Yeah, looking good. I mean, that 12 ball sliding in on the break was a big roll there for Dennis. Hit them well enough, deserved everything he got, but looked a little dicey for a minute.
Yeah, what I like though is as well, Eric, a lot of the players who seem to hit the break extremely hard, they have chances for those bonus balls, if you like, as opposed to playing a more controlled break and trying to pot those balls in the centre is your main objective. I'm a big believer in power in the 8-ball. You get more chances.
Definitely, and I think it just lends to more open racks too. Saw Albin Ocean employing a big power break throughout the whole tournament. He had great results.
Of course, cue ball control becomes a little bit more tricky at times, but if you can keep hold of that cue ball somewhat, you can have rewards like this. And as we said, in a very few minutes, this rack is over, and 2-0 in the blink of an eye. Great start.
Haven't seen any of Yuma yet in this semi-final match. Definitely one of the up-and-coming players on tour. It's a top 64 finish in a matchroom event. Had some deep runs in Eurotours.
Yeah, dangerous. He beat Petri Mäkinen 10-8 in the quarter-final match, and Petri is no stranger to the big stage, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on here. Big match.
Tall player, right up there with Dennis. Easily over 6 feet. Not much pop on the cue ball there, and it's been kicked into the corner. So this is going to be the start that Dennis wants. Didn't go directly in the corner there. Something came and kicked it down towards the bottom left. Really one of the nightmare results for any player. Big question in this rack is if the 11 passes the 8.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it has a chance, yeah.
Yeah, even once that 9 ball, he could even play for that early. Get rid of that 9 and leave the 8, the 11 and the 8 for his last 2 balls.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be too worried about the 11, so gotta think that it does pass. He's having a look right now.
I think it's probably just the pattern that he wants to take, maybe, Eric, because if he leaves that 9 ball to the end, 9 to 11 might be his option, what he's thinking here. Get rid of this 10 ball, and maybe the one on the side rail next to that 4 ball, 15.
Yeah, he has a lot of angle going up table now, so I think he might take the 9 after the 10.
Yeah, agree.
It's considered an 11, but that's risky. Once you start moving the 9, it's going to kind of move into an unfavorable position. So he's going to go down 9 next.
Yeah, I like this though, because anywhere really on the 11, even if you have a thinner 11, you've got a 3 ball there that can help you, and the 8 ball is pretty close, so this is fine. Just doesn't want to be on the rail, I guess. He's could do with a bounce here. Yeah, this works for me. It's a good shot.
Yeah, just the slightest bit straight. We'll have to accept a little more distance than ideal. But if he's into a full pocket on the 11, he'll be happy with this. Oh, powered up and got nice and close to it. Nice shot there from Dennis.
Yeah, it's been a good finish, this. That ball in hand, as you said, was a little bit unfortunate, Eric. I don't think he lost the cue ball as much. It did get a bit of an unfavourable kick, which, yeah, as we know, can happen.
Dennis coming off his big win at the Las Vegas Open in 2025. Down 2-0 against Josh Filler, came back and evened the set score at 2 each and won in a shootout. It was one of the most exciting matches of the year so far. We'll Going to take down his first title here at the of the week, really. The European Championships in this Predator Eurotour. I believe he has a couple wins in the past on the Eurotour, Graham.
Yeah, he does. He is a winner, so he's no stranger to Eurotour finals, and obviously getting a good win under his belt against Josh Filler. It's nice to win a tournament, but it's even better to beat, in my opinion, the best player in the world right now. So, fantastic win for Dennis. A great start here.
Yeah, was also the winner at the Maldives Open, so 2 major wins last year for Dennis. Dorner looking for a better result here in rack number 4. Hit them well last time. Didn't get much pop on the cue ball, but that doesn't mean you can't have a successful break. There's the pop. And there's the balls behind the head ball. Perfect break from Dorner there. Stripes are looking good here, Graham.
Yeah, I would agree. Actually, both balls do give an options as well. It's because he hit the break so well. I think that stripe at the top of the table is probably one that just needs a little bit of attention. 14, I think it is, sooner as he can, but solids are also fine. There's a few connecting balls, which I think, Eric, just makes the break that little bit easier to run out when you have a few balls very close in proximity for position.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to avoid the distance. Only stripe he could really play off the first shot was the 10, or maybe a thin one on the 11. So he's going to take the easier pocketing here, which is always advisable. Biggest key to this rack, I'll be getting the cue ball over near the 2-6. Going for that off the first play here. Little short, still on the 1.
Yeah, it's a good
Gonna
call,
hope
though.
that. Yeah, he's gonna hope the drawing angle's not going into the 11. Off the 1. If it isn't, I think he'll try to get into the 2-6 again.
Yeah, he needs to get those, but it's pretty good angle here, Eric, so I think he can just draw this back. Doesn't want to go too crazy, but as long as he can have a pretty straight shot on one of these down the rail, he should be fine. Pace looks good here.
Yeah, he's there. Might be over top of the 10 a little bit, but good distance between the cue ball and the 10. Looks like he can just bridge around it to the left.
I'm half wondering, is the 6 ball a better ball to take so he can come across from a thinner 2 onto the 5? That might be... Yeah, just draw this 6 ball back. Leave a thinner 2. Try and have a kind of a semi-straight or a little bit off angle 5 to play the 4 on the side, and then 3 in the bottom left corner. That's how I would see this one, Eric. Is that how you see it?
I like that pattern, yeah. Minimal cue ball movement from 5 to 4. Natural cue ball movement from 4 to 3. Nice and close to the 3 here. Or, pardon me, the 5.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's probably going a little bit closer to the rail, so the position here I would love to just be pretty much straight, or even just off straight a little bit, so he can run closer to the 3 ball.
Not quite enough angle running to the right as ideal, but if the cue ball is playing to the right of the 9, that'll be okay. It's good.
Yeah, nicely done. It was a little bit tricky. Had to get a few very good positional shots early in the rack, but as we see very often in 8 ball, if you can get rid of your problem balls, or the most trickiest of balls that you have on your table, then yeah, get them out as soon as possible. And a nice break and run here, Eric, just what he needed.
Yeah, good reply. Definitely didn't want to be stuck the first 4 games. Been all offense so far, all run out play. Break's going to be passed back over to Dennis now.
Yeah, and I kind of like this two-break format. What's your opinion on it, Eric? I think it's really exciting. It means momentum can shift quite nicely in a match. What's your thoughts on this two-break per person?
I mean, it seemed to run pretty flawlessly to me in the matches I've watched. I have to think a little deeper as a player what it means, you know, if I was actually in the tournament and have a better sense for it. But nothing really negative to say about it. I mean, I think you're the worst case scenario in this format is that you lose both your breaks. At that point, you can be a little stuck. I was just trying to think of the semantics of if you win the leg, then you have 4 of the first 6 breaks, little things like that. I'm not sure. I'd have to see it a little more, but I like it. I think it's been a format that's been thought of in North America, but we just haven't used it that often.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point you just made, Eric. I didn't think of it like that. From having 4 of the first 6 breaks, that means the lag is even more crucial than normal. But yeah, that's a very good point. Super important point to make from a lag. Having a 1 break each is generally okay, but having 2, yeah, it makes the lag super critical.
I was even thinking about how it leads into the hill game, so I think it would be an equal set of 8 breaks each, so whoever won the leg would be breaking in the hill game if it was a race to not 8, I think. Yeah, whenever it's an even race, you'll be breaking in the hill game if you win the leg. So I think it just puts a little more importance on the leg, but you know, you're assuming that that's assuming that you win 80% of your breaks or more, and of course we know that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, lots of different ways to look at it, but it does make the game a little bit more interesting and exciting. And Dennis again with a very good break. He's looking to get rid of this 1 and 2 ball out of the way now, which leads me to believe he's leaving those balls at the top part of the table for the end. Yeah, he's going to have to give some attention to the ball right at the top of the table there, that 4 ball.
Definitely, if he gets above the 2 here, he could play up the left side.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's left that 5 ball over the side pocket just to support wherever he lands on that 4. He's probably trying to think, could he draw the 2 back a little bit and then have an angle on the 1 and go up? Maybe he's trying now.
He's gonna go there now. Nice shot. Yeah. Doesn't want to land straight here.
Oh, looks perfect. What a shot.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that shot. And I think he could have taken the 2 ball first and then had probably the same angle on the 1. But I think Eric, maybe he noticed he probably had a good chance to go straight for it. So I don't mind that. It's probably a smart shot.
Seven does pass the 10 in the top left. Has to consider it, because if he starts moving back to the 7 and then back towards the 8 on the last shot, 14's blocking a lot of that area. Looks like he is going to go up to the 2 here. Slightly too far, Graham. You'll be able to manage, but speed's going to be a little tricky here.
Yeah, he might even have to go for the 7 in the side, maybe. I'm not sure how much. Can he actually hold this? Looks a little bit thin, but sometimes the camera angle can be deceiving. Yeah, it looks a bit thin for me. He might have to go further up table. Just try to check it in. Yeah, that was the danger, I think, Eric.
Yeah, there is space between the 9 and the 11. Gonna have a little more distance than comfortable on the 8. Dennis is strong in the potting department.
Might just take his medicine here. Take a longer 8 ball. Yeah, nicely done. No crazy stuff.
Yeah, this is just a mid-range shot here, but it's a little funny in 8 ball. You're used to shooting so many short shots that when a longer one comes up, it kind of puts you out of sorts. It can put you out of sorts at times. Bit of body movement, a little bit into the side of the pocket, but the 8's down, and good start for Dennis now.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see a little bit of body, but it was a good pot, and he weathered the storm a little bit well there. A little bit of a strange layout, not so straightforward if you like, but he'd be more than happy to run another rack, and he's looking very good. Yeah, Dennis is enjoying, I'm sure, having the event in his hometown. It's always nice having maybe familiar things on your doorstep. I'm sure he's probably staying at home, no hotels, home comforts. It's got to add a little bit of extra few percentage points on your comfort levels, I think.
No doubt. Always a privilege to play somewhere near home, or even staying with friends. I find is a privilege as well.
So here we go. Another break. And if Dennis keeps breaking the way he is, it's going to be very difficult for Yuma to get back into this match, I feel. So he's hoping for some kind of dry or unlucky scratch or something. Pretty good cue ball. Balls in the side. A few bonus balls. Wow. What a break as well. Look at them stripes in the middle of the table, Eric. What goodness me. What a break.
Yeah, the actual suits have separated up table and down table here, so there'll be very little cue ball movement.
Yeah, stripes are pretty. The ones for me, there's obviously he doesn't even have a solid option, I think, but all about that 9 ball. But he does have a couple of balls at the top for connection balls. This could be a very quick rack indeed, Eric.
Yeah, I like shooting the 9 last year, just getting straight on the 11. It'll lead you into the 12 nicely.
Yeah, the angle from the 9, just coming off the top rail, straight down with lots of space, wide open table for the 8 ball, probably in the bottom right. He'll not be flirting with too much danger. Might even take the 9 now, you know, he has a good angle on this 12. That's what he's looking.
Yeah, just partly because he has a little too much angle on the 11 too. It's funny though, he almost has too much angle on the 12, moving too far to the left, but he thinks he's okay to hold it here. Yeah, went off the short rail. This will play good. He's kind of backing away from the table there for a second, thought he underhit it, but I'm pretty sure he's okay here.
Yeah, I think he can just get it. Unless he has to bend it a little bit with left-hand spin, Eric. If he does, that will prevent him from going 2 rails. He might have to take the 11 in the left center. That might be his other... Yeah, it looks tight, you know, from here.
Oh, he is a little tighter than we thought. The thing about the left spin, too, is it'll kill the momentum going back towards the 11. You could play the 11 in the side, but the left is actually going to play it into kind of too straight on the 11 in the side. Yeah, this is... It's going to have to change paths here.
Wow, interesting. And I was just saying... Yeah, there you go. I was just saying Yuma needs a little bit of help, and for such a fantastic break, Dennis he'll not be happy with that at all. It wasn't too crazy difficult. But a chance for Yuma.
It's just a perfect example of what can happen in 8 ball. It's a game where you need the cue ball in such small areas in spots. Like, of course, that could happen in rotation too, just barely edging yourself on another ball, but it's less likely. You're more playing area shape in rotation. 8 ball is about being really specific with the cue ball, and you know, times when it looks like you're just dead out, and then one shot later you're completely dead. You know, that happens to everybody. But a mistake there from Dennis.
Yeah, and he's left a bit of a tough opener. He might even be playing safe here. Don't blame him. I'm not sure what he's played there, though. What was he trying to do there, Eric? He has left a cut on the 9, which is not ideal. Maybe even some kind of shot on his other one. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the 11 plays up into the top right, so there was no real risk in trying to get the cue ball further down table. He's still in a tough spot here.
Yeah, but the 9 is makeable, and he is coming down towards his problem ball, so anything could happen here. Just go in the top right, I think. Maybe he can thread the needle. He's gone
Look at
full.
this.
Oh dear. He went into the balls, didn't he? He tried to go into them.
Great attempt from Dennis.
Yeah. Only shot I see here, realistically, is a bit of a flare shot. Play the stripe into the 1 ball. Maybe carom it into the left center. That's a half chance if he can get that angle from right side of the black. I don't know.
Yeah, I might have to go over to the right long rail and play some left spin, but that's extremely tough to judge over this distance. Not quite sure at all what that was. Directly into the 8.
I think he just tried to mess everything up. Maybe just try to whack the balls and mess everything up, but yeah, very strange.
He's known to be a little temperamental at the table. I think you're right. He was just trying to rearrange the balls there. Like, it's not like it was a lash-out play, really. But he is known to be a little temperamental, kind of similar to Albin Ocean. But there's players that feed off that. Earl Strickland did it for years.
Yeah, I agree. And, sometimes it can fire you up as well. But if you were going to lash out in such a way, surely you would maybe try to go for a bit more of a creative shot on your stripe, and if you want to hit it hard, then hit it hard. But
yeah, just hit the 11. It was an odd one.
Strange.
So standard out here from Dorner, staying in line nicely. And the breaks will be passed back to him. But this is the element you were talking about. Sorry, Graham. This is the element you were talking about with the 2 breaks. Like, really, if Yuma runs the next 2, he's stayed on break. And even though he's down 4-2 right now, really, you could consider him not really down by that much because he's the favorite to win either of his 2 breaks.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I was alluding to. It makes it interesting because, yeah, the score can say one thing, but it's just like at the very beginning. If Dennis breaks and runs both of his racks, you haven't really had a shot at the table. So yes, you're 2-0 down, but now it's your turn. So even though the score says 4-2, as you said, he does have 2 racks to try and close the gap. But yeah, I like it. I think it's interesting. Quick update on table 1. Pia Filler against Sandra Baumgartner. They're locked in at 2-2 in a race to 8. And on this table we have a race to 10. So still some way to go in both matches.
Dorner was 1 for 2 on his last 2 set of breaks. Kicked in on the first one, broken ran the second one. Going from dead middle, usually players used to tend to favor one side or the other of the table. Nothing wrong with this. Chance to make the 5 or the 11. There goes the 11. Nicely controlled with the cue ball. And another decent start here, Graham.
Yeah, I like his break. He was hitting them pretty well. The centre pockets, the balls went in. Very good. Just have a bit of work to do around that 8 ball if he goes either solids or stripes, but looking at the congestion at the bottom on that 9 ball and the other stripe on the bottom table, bottom of the short reel, it's got to be solids here, I think. Eric, make something
Yeah,
work.
good call though. Yeah, I mean, if I believe he should take solids here, but the biggest key to the racket will be getting onto the 8.
Yeah, I guess that one ball, if he lands nice on the 1, could lend itself to just roll up to the right-hand long rail for the 8 ball in the top left. Could be an option, depending how the rest of the run goes.
Yeah, and the 2 plays reasonably onto the 1. He does have a chance to go into it now. Always the risk to get jammed up behind the 13 if he does try that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd take the risk. I think the balls are all makeable. I like what you said. If you're taking an unnecessary risk, if you had a guaranteed ball, then I could understand. Things could go wrong on this, unless he catches the 13 plumb in the face. Yeah, he's leaving it. Don't blame him.
Yeah, so just gonna be some good speed required from the 2 to the 1. 2's available in the left middle or the top left corner. 3-7-4 progression coming here. Even if you got around the 4, you could shoot the 7 third.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to avoid the 4. He might have to bump it towards the right corner. Oh, good call, Eric. You could just get round it. So now you can play the 4, then the 7, 2 in the side, 1 in the side, and he's really banking on getting that angle on that 1 ball for the 8, I think.
Dorner, part of the next generation of German players, even in another generation, not really generation, but just set of younger players, younger than Filler, coming along now. Moritz Neuhausen and Yuma Dorner kind of heading up the charge for that age group.
Yeah, and obviously Felix Vogel as well. Very dangerous. So many young players coming through from the German side. We already have one Filler. We don't need any more. That's what a lot of countries will be saying.
He's got it. Pretty much perfect here, Graham. Even an angle to hit the rail and come back into the angle of the 8. So nicely executed run out here.
Yeah, I like this. Very well done. I mean, that 2 ball was in a very good spot, like you said earlier. We did have to get the right angle, which he did. A very well worked out run indeed. Just on that Germany side as well, they absolutely dominated in the European Championships as well. Multiple golds, winning all the medals, mostly across the board in some way, shape or form. Gold, silver and bronzes. Was very good performance by Germany. Don't have the medal table to hand, but I'd be surprised if they didn't come out on top.
Yeah, Ina Kaplan having a good week, Pia Filler having an outstanding week, Tobias Bongers making it, and Stefan Kasper making it near the end of a lot of tournaments, with Tobias winning the straight pool. So break number 2 coming up here for Dorner. He's got the break and run game going, 2 out of 3 now. Lost a little squareness there, but 14 down. 2 ball coming around 4 rails. Nice open pattern again. 4 ball's a good starter here.
Yeah, really good. He's got a choice of both, really, Eric, to be honest. Even though he doesn't have an ideal stripe, he could take a longer one if he chooses to, but I do think solids definitely look more logical with the pattern and connection balls.
Kind of like leaving the 1 as an open ball. Just see how sharp the 8 is in the right middle. It will be available to the top right once the 5 is gone. A smart shot there. Had to come into a decently small window on the 5 later in the rack if he didn't take it now.
Yeah, but the position from the 5 to his next shot is not so straightforward. Do you think he might carry him into the 3 ball here? Is he thin enough just because of the angle?
I think he can draw out of it and play towards the 6.
I don't know how much he was bridging, so maybe, yeah, he can just get a little bit. Not sure if he can squeeze it out. Yeah, I thought he might be going in.
You're right, Graham, yeah. Seven balls wide in the open, but I'd want to be getting on it pretty quickly here.
Yeah, great. Just curious where this 8 ball is going to go, like you called earlier. Judging by, don't know if it goes in the top right as well. So if he can play, yeah, it does go in the top right and the center. So he's going to have to make a choice. Probably go 3 ball, 7 ball. Sorry, 3 ball, 6 ball. Maybe 7, then 8 in the side, possibly.
Yeah, I just realized the 7 passes in the bottom left, which makes the 7 a lot easier. So this will be a good pattern now. A little too much angle going to the right here is all he's worried about. If he wants, he might be able to go to the long rail with some left spin and get straight on the 7. Little angle going to the right.
Yeah, he'd love to get close to his work here. He has got a bit of an angle on this 7, so he's going to have to play this with quite a bit of right-hand spin. Oh, this angle looks a lot easier. So even if he came quite below the 8, he can play it in the top right as well, Eric.
Yeah, nice play. Wants to get away from the 15, he has. And if this 8 goes down, he's done his job on his 2 breaks.
Yeah, this is where the break format, like we just discussed for a little bit there, Eric, plays a big part of how matches can twist and turn. And for 1 minute, Dennis was flying, looked like he was cruising. All of a sudden, we're in a very tight affair with 4-4.
Yeah, just the one misjudgment getting on the 9 from Dennis has been the only real run-out mistake so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick update for people for after this. Obviously, this is the first semi-final of the men's, and coming up in the second semi-final of the men's will be a repeat of the last Eurotour's final in February. Joshua Filler against Stefan Kaspers. Joshua won that one 10-1 or 10-2, I think, so Stefan be looking to get some revenge there. And then also following the first women's semi-final, we will have Maria Teresa Rapero from Spain taking on Yasmin Aushin, going for her 20th Eurotour win. Eric, how about that? 19 she has already, going for 20, I think. Incredible.
Yeah, had tacked on her 28th European Championships victory earlier in the week. Just an incredible amount of titles, not only in Europe but all over the world for her.
Yeah, she's just so hard to beat. She has got a fantastic break as well. And speaking of breaks, tables have definitely turned, Eric, because Dennis struggling to find the ball there. Table's not ideal. Yeah, we've got a good view from here. Stripes have got a little bit of work. So is solids, but doesn't really have a solid starter, so he might have to go, yeah, play one in the side. Doesn't have much angle here after this first pot.
Yeah, this is a tough run out. Looks like he's going to avoid the 9, so a bit of a pocketing test on the opener here on the 11. 14, 13 have problems. The cue ball's running just to the left of the 14 here. It's always tough. Distance, shooting into a closed pocket.
Yeah, and he's gave maybe Dennis a chance to take possibly solids here.
Yeah, if he's on the 3, nothing much else besides the 3 for solids.
Yeah, I think if he can get it, then yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if he can get a full ball on it. He does have a stripe in the top right corner should he wants to play that one, but yeah, he's kind of in a tricky spot here. Might be forced into it.
The 14's tougher on the pocketing, but it opens up the stripes nicely.
Yeah, I agree. It might be. Just gonna have to go quickly though.
On 15 here. Yeah. Does the 14 pass in the right middle? I believe it can.
Yeah, I think so. It's not too bad. He played a pretty good shot there, good speed, and like you say, if that does go in the side, that changes everything. But he does have an okay angle here to come back up to the middle of the table, get on the 10 maybe, and then try to tackle that 14, if it doesn't go in the side, that is. They're both going top right. This looks alright.
Yeah, just
if he can stun this,
yeah.
Play the 12, and then maybe try and get rid of these 2 balls in the center of the table and leave that one at the top for the 8 ball. Leave the 9 until the end.
Yeah, really, he's just trying to make a solid plan of how he can get back to the 9. That's the one time he's gonna have to move the cue ball a fair bit for the rest of the rack. I think he's thinking that if he gets straight on the 13 into the, or it might be the 11 there, pardon me, into the bottom right, he can draw straight back to the 9.
Yeah, even if he draws this a little bit and leaves a bit more of an angle, yeah, he can actually play off the right hand long rail, and I think he can avoid the 6 ball.
That'll work too, just bringing the 8 less into play. Kind of in the middle here, but he can power up. Stun draw contact point. There's no straight back option. Just gonna have to develop some angle going to the rail. Nice shot.
Yeah, and I wonder if the 8 passes in the top left. I'm not sure if it does. Might do. We'll be able to see in a moment how he plays it. If not, you'll have to kill this and play it in the side maybe.
So one more good pot for Dennis here to get back in the lead. Was ahead 4-1 at one point. Lost the last 3, 2 of them on Dorner's break. But surviving the dry break in this rack and getting back ahead.
Yeah, that was it. His dry break, to be fair to Yuma, he didn't really leave him anything tasty from the break. You had to play a tricky opener. That can sometimes be the difference. Obviously, we've seen many dry breaks leave a bunch of flowers and very easy run-outs, but sometimes it doesn't. Dennis will be glad to get back to the table. He did play a good opener and then some good puzzling. He'd love to get a break and run here, though, that's for sure. Pierre just edging ahead 4-3 in that match, as you can see on table 1. It's on the live stream on the other channel. Should you choose to dip in and out, watch them both, pick your poison. Of course, me and Eric would be more than happy to keep you company on this match at 5-4. Let's see how Dennis gets on in this break. Hopefully not another dry break in his mind. Yeah, that's more like it. Good balls in the centre. Open the balls pretty well. At first glance, nothing too crazy. There's a few solids and stripes quite close to each other, which can sometimes cause a bit of problem if they're not connecting balls. I think it'd be good to have a look from this view. Yeah, I'm thinking stripes maybe here, Eric, could be the option, just because of the way the layout. You can play the 9 and get rid of that stripe below the 8 ball straight away. Could open the table up.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to move the 11, but the 12 plays really well onto the 11, and the 14 will be an insurance ball. But you're right, I like getting rid of the 13 here early.
I'm wondering if the 10 goes. Sometimes the camera angles can be deceiving. The ball at the top there, the 14. I think they all go at the top.
They might.
If not, you can definitely open it on this shot, potentially. Yeah, there you see, maybe he's trying to open the balls.
Extension.
Worst case scenario here would be if Dennis pushes the stripe in front of the 14 in a way that he has to combo it, but consider it unlikely. Yeah, he's just okay for that.
Yeah, it's a good call. Can he draw? Yeah, I'm not sure. Can he draw the 14 back out and avoid? Oh yeah, easy. Plenty space.
Yep, 15-10 last. Just looking to get straight on the 10. Leads into straight in on the 8. Looks like he might be forced to take a little angle on the 10, but he'll be okay.
Yeah, he's pretty okay. Even if he just stunned it and let the cue ball go a little bit further away distance wise, not too crazy, he'd still have a pretty okay line on the 10. Yeah, I prefer taking a little bit more distance to have a better angle. Could probably just roll onto this 4 ball maybe here, Eric, and just push the 4 to the rail and take it away from the cue ball.
Yeah, cue ball's running nice and squarely into the 4. No real risk of getting behind it. Good shot, and it'll be up to Yuma to reply on his 2 breaks now. Last time he was stuck 2 games. He was stuck 3 at one point, but last time he was stuck 2 going into his breaks. He broke and ran both. But pressure starting to mount here.
Yeah, nicely done.
And with your opponent getting closer to the finish line, it's always going to take some nerve to hold with them.
Definitely, and with these 2 break formats, the closer you do get to the hill, we've seen if the scoreline works out. We're commentating on Yasmin's matches earlier and another men's match, I think, where the player had kind of 2 breaks to win the match, basically. So 2 chances on your own serve to win, which I think is interesting for that format. If it works out correctly, you have 2 chances to close a match. I think it's quite nice.
Yeah, so both players kind of looking to get to the hill and hoping it times out with a point in the match where they have 2 breaks to kind of close it out. Three of Dorner's 4 wins have come from the break and run. Nice hit again. Perfect cue ball. 2 balls down. Stripes looking okay here. Dorner seems very composed for his age and the amount of times that he's been near the end of a Eurotour. Not really seeing any emotion from him. Just doing what he has to do at the table. Especially being stuck in the match.
Yeah, he looks very cool. I think when you win a few medals, and obviously just coming off that very big 9-ball under 23 gold literally just a few days ago, he must be full of confidence. Obviously he's in the semi-finals of a Eurotour, so that shows taking that form straight from that final win into here.
He's going 5 here, a little surprising. He's going to try to get into the 2-6. Not ideal. Believe he's still on the 1. Position back to any other ball is going to be tough. The 2 does pass the 4. That's what he's having a look at now.
I'm surprised he went on the solids there, Eric, because all the stripes were pretty potable. There was nothing too crazy. He had a few connecting balls, but sometimes, yeah, when you see something that you want to go with, it's just making a choice and be committed to that. So don't blame him for going for it. Just felt like stripes maybe had a better layout.
Nice play. Back in line
Great
now.
Yeah, that was a great shot. Full of confidence. And that's pretty much the problem ball as I see it in this run out. Be nice if he can maybe get rid of this 3-ball now. He's lost the cue ball there a little bit.
Yeah, a little in between here. More of a tester on the 4 than he would have wanted. If he can get straight on the 1, it plays well into the 6. 2
Yeah, I
rails
think that's
across
what
here.
Sorry, Eric, yeah, I think you were right. He's going to try and leave that 6-ball till the end. I think it makes a logical choice where the 8-ball is.
Look out,
Missed
this
it.
ball. And this is where the pressure comes in, knowing you kind of have to have your hold your serve.
Yeah, he had a bit of fortune there as he blocked the 9-ball. He has. That just makes it a little bit more interesting. Could he play a stop shot on this one down in the bottom right here and leave an angle on the 12 maybe and open that 9-ball up, Eric? That could be an option. Straight away, go for it.
That's what he's looking at. There is room if he gets kind of close to it along the left rail that he doesn't actually have to go into it. It'll be a thin cut on the 9. But kind of where he's pointing to right there, still comfortable enough. And considering things that can go wrong if he tries to go into it, I think he'll just leave it there.
Yeah, good call. He's got a nice angle here just to do exactly that. Yeah, it's pretty good. He's got plenty of options with the stripe over the side and the stripe all the way down on the bottom rail. He has options here, so it's all full focus on making this 9-ball a do expect him to pot this, Eric. This is a pretty good shot he's played here.
Yeah, it looks like he has a little too much angle to hold for the 10, but he'll be okay to just come all the way down for the 15. Good enough. Even has angle to go around the 10 and play the 10 in the shorter pocket if he likes.
Yeah, he could even take the 10 in the top to avoid any risk. Just stun it up. Or even come one rail, play the 10 in the top left, and you've got that stripe just sitting over the center for a nice connection to the 8 ball. Oh, what's he played?
Oh no, doesn't want to get behind the 8, and I think he might have.
What's he played there, Eric? He jumped up very quickly on that shot as well.
Yeah, I think he was trying to stun between the 6-8 and just knew right away that he overdrew it. Is he on the 14, Graham? He could be.
Yeah, I mean, he could bend it a little bit either way, but if he's on it... Yeah, looks like it. Wow. What a result there. What a shot he's played as well. Goodness me. That was very lucky to being a bit of a nightmare.
So near disaster for Grabe. But does get the job done in the end, taking advantage of the mistake from Dorner. The pressure will be mounting a little bit on Dorner now. Kind of just playing a little battle to stay close to Grabe here.
Yeah, nicely done. Got out of jail a little bit there. A bit of a mishit on that position, but nonetheless it went down. A bit of a battle on table 1 as well, Eric. Pia was ahead there, and now she's must have lost a couple of racks, and she's 5-4 down to Baumgartner. So that's a race to 8, getting closer to the hill and the finish line on that one too. So pressure will build there, just like it's building nicely here, I think.
Yeah, Pia had the strongest overall results of any of the women in the European Championships.
Yeah, 2 gold, 2 silvers, I think it was, something like that. Incredible medals. What a great break by Sandra there, it looks like. Is she hooked on the solids, maybe? Yeah, she might be. Anyway, wow, breaking well.
Here comes Dorner. Really has to keep the match within 2 here. Oh, he's lost the cue ball. And this is trouble in the overall implications for the match. Because he's hit it off square, he has that little cluster of 4 near the racking area. But Dennis able to start ball in hand here. Really just the 1 separation, yeah. 9 onto the stack looks okay.
Yeah, you got to attack this straight away, Eric. Ball in hand, just bump that stripe out. I mean, he's got pretty much 3 and 4 balls over the pocket, so it's all about this shot for me. Just make sure you can release that stripe into a nice potable position. 8 ball needs a bit of care, but it does go in the top right.
Wanted to run into the middle of the stack rather than the edge of it. Looks like he has opened up the 11 to the point where he can pocket it in the bottom right. Trying to come back for the 11 here. Looks like he has just enough speed. Have to get a second angle.
Yeah, I think leaving the stripe over that bottom left corner pocket is probably a smart one to get onto the 8 ball. So he wants to try and get rid of these balls at the top of the table, I think, Eric. And oh my gosh, he's missed it. Wow, what a miss that is. That's surprising.
He must just not had quite enough of the 11. Felt like he had to take it at that point.
Do you know what I think he played there as well, maybe? In his mind, if you look at where the cue ball is, I'm half wondering if he tried to bring the 8 ball into play. Because he had 3 balls at the top of the table that he can land on, quite possibly. Otherwise, you would leave that ball till the end, I would have thought.
Mm-hmm. Moving a lot of balls around here. Yeah. 4 hasn't ended up ideally. Looks like the 2 could pass the 8. I think he has to take it now.
Yeah, I agree. A 4 ball is a similar shot to what Dennis had in the last rack on that 9 ball. Pretty similar place, so if he can get rid of this 2 and have a nice angle, there's still a good chance to run out here.
Nicely played. Ideally, he'd want some angle running to the left off the 7. Looks on the straight side, but could be able to cheat the left side of the pocket to develop some angle going that way.
Yeah, maybe go 7, 5, 4 ball. Maybe leave that 6 till the end, potentially.
Yeah, still has work to do because the 8 isn't completely available.
Yeah, I agree. I think even if he does land on the 6 ball, he could try to do something with the 8 or play a bank or something. Don't think he can get there now, so he might have to take the 6 now and go up for that 4 ball right from here and then play the 5 at the end.
He does. Too much angle on the 5 right now to get back to the 4. Looks like he might have to play a bit of left spin to hold on the left side of the table. But pocketing comfortable enough on the 6 that he should be okay to spin it a bit if he needs to.
Yeah, big shot this one. Because if Dennis does get another rack, at some point he will have 2 breaks. And that could give him a chance to win the match on his own serve, if you like. How's the pace here, Eric?
Yeah, didn't want to catch the point. He's a little short of pace, but can go after the 4 here.
Up and down twice, maybe?
Has to be. And a lot of cue ball movement to be trying to land specifically on the 5, but that's what the test he's going to have to pass here. So overcut it. Dennis knew it right away. Yeah, just never got fully in control of that rack. Had to break out some balls at the beginning. 4 ball didn't end up ideally. Yeah, that's what ended up getting him in the end.
Yeah, and I think he can also... Dennis can squeeze this stripe past the 4 ball, or even off the rail. Off the 4 into the corner. Maybe going straight for it.
Yeah, I wanted to get a little closer. Might still have a thought here.
Yeah, cushion first. Should be fine as long as he gets it right in that little pocket, Eric. That's his target. I can't see this not going down if he catches the rail first. Yeah, very clean. 8 ball up in the top right to close this rack out, I would say, Eric.
Yeah, just gonna try to get straight enough on the 15 or the 15 to hold on the right long rail there. Can easily get too much angle here and start getting kind of funny going towards the 8. Kind of like this.
I wonder if he can just kill it and just drag it in kind of dead weight. It's amazing how much the players with the equipment these days can kill the ball. Be more than fine. Nicely done.
Good shot. So Dennis looking to open up a big lead now, going back into his breaks. He's been breaking well. Consider him a pretty good favorite to get one of the two, but he'll be going for both. The one spot on the table where the 8 can't go, Graham? That's
incredible.
Crazy.
Even if he takes the paint off that 4 ball, it drops. That's
well, what do you do now if you're a Yuma? Can you get into the 4 here? That is one of the unluckiest misses you can have when you have a bigger pocket like that and there's a millimeter space between the pocket and the ball that you can go off of and it just doesn't go. I've seen it happen, but not in a while like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting one. Can he just play with loads of spin and just bump the 4 a little bit? This is very tricky. No, scratched as well.
Yeah. Yeah, just left in a tough spot there.
Yeah, Dennis needs to pot the 8. No concessions. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot else he could have done there, Eric, to be honest. I mean, he could have tried to drop the 5 in, maybe go for a crazy one on the 4. I mean, he could have tried to play a safety shot and hope for ball in hand, but with the 8 ball so close to the pocket, yeah, crazy one, really.
I think he had to go at it, and you know, there was so many ways where he was going to hit the 4 and then the cue ball was going to go into the 8, so just a really tough spot there. Looks like both tables on a break right now. Can't see if Pia's behind one of the... Is she on the bench on the left there? She might be out of the arena.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think, oh yeah, she's on a timeout. I can see on the scoreboard she's 6-5, so she must have just won that last rack. So she has taken a timeout, and a timeout on our table. Probably a good time to take a timeout for both players. I mean, Dennis is getting so close now. He can taste the finish line, and he can smell that final, Eric. It's a couple of racks away.
Yeah, next round of play will be your other 2 semifinals. Stefan Kasper and Josh Filler. And remind me of the women's semifinal, Graham?
Yeah, the women's semifinal will be against Yasmin Aushin and Maria Teresa Ropero from Spain. So that is heating up nicely. Obviously, Pia has everything to do still in that match, but it's very close. Could we see a Filler Aushin final, or will it be Baumgartner holding on and Ropero taking down? Yeah, Aushin. That's what it's going to be all down to. But yes, they'll be coming at 5:30 local time. And then following those semi-finals, we will have the final of the men's and the women's at the same time on at 8 o'clock local time.
hundreds of matches being contested over the 12 days here. First 9 days were the European Championships. Last 3 days have been the Eurotour. Only the second time there's ever been an 8-ball event on the Eurotour. Tim DeRuyter was mentioning there was one in the late 90s in Spain, and hasn't been one for the last 25 years.
Yeah, so it's been some time, and a lot of the players have been saying they've been quite looking forward to it. It's a very popular game, and it's not a one that you commonly see on the Eurotours. It's obviously 9-ball and 10-ball. It's nice to mix it up a little bit. Predator doing great things. It's a fantastic arena. The setup, the production, it's been absolutely fantastic all through the European Championships. And coming into this last day of this Eurotour, a lot of pool, Eric, a lot of pool.
P has been going with that softer break throughout the tournament, and it's been working pretty well. Saw her employed in the 10-ball and made a lot of balls on the break. And here comes Dennis with 2 breaks to possibly win the match. Just missed the 13, but the 12's down. 15 goes down as well, and pretty inviting table here.
Both pretty good, really. That stripe just on the point of the middle pocket could pose a problem, but solids are looking pretty good. Not sure he played into that 10-ball there.
I don't think he did. And has he left anything? The 3 maybe?
7 in the top maybe might go. If it does, that's a right big bonus for Dennis there, because he definitely didn't play that.
Hasn't really looked over at the angle of the 7, so I think he's all in on the 3 here. Got it.
Yeah, good
the
cueing.
2-7.
Nice shot.
Yeah, the 2-7-4 play very nicely, so as long as the cue ball's not moving too far to the left off the 5 here, Dennis is looking pretty good. It is going a little far off the left, so he's maybe considering taking the 2 first.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have been just off straight on that 5-ball. Like you say, he's going to come back up and try and get a better angle. This looks a little bit better. Can leave a nice angle on this 1 ball.
He can hold it now.
It's a bit straight maybe. No, he has a bit of angle. Coming into the line of the shot, so even if he lands a little bit off on 1, he might have a good angle on the other, so this is a very good chance here. Probably 2 shots away from guaranteed.
A lot of break and runs for Dennis over the course of this match.
Yeah, it's become the norm, Eric, hasn't it? 8-ball, it's such a heavy break and run format, which is to be expected. If you're not putting balls on the break or making mistakes from the break, you're going to get severely punished. At this level, players, if they have an open ball, very quickly can map out a path to victory.
Perfect speed for the side pocket, and he'll be good here. Going onto the hill now. breaking in rack number 14 with a chance to win the match.
Yeah, it was a great run, wasn't it? I think this is a perfect example of where the format can actually work great for yourself, but maybe not so great for your opponent. But Dennis has earned the right to be this far ahead, and he does have a second break, like you say, to win the match, and it's perfect when it's in your own hands. He'll be looking to rinse and repeat and do it again.
Yeah, he's kept the pressure on Yuma pretty much for the whole match. Just trying to think of, I think it was a 4 up in the top left that he narrowly missed a couple games ago.
Yeah, but other than that, there hasn't really been a lot of mistakes. Maybe 1 or 2 that we would say were big mistakes, but other than that, it's been a pretty high quality match in terms of breaks and runs.
Four ball down, cue ball, little trap near the short rail, but the 2 ball is going to be up near the cue ball. Little more work to do in this run out. Just checking if the 5 passes the 7, the 3 passes the 7. Doesn't have a full pocket. Could always try to move it off the 1 if he feels like he can't pocket it past the 7.
I think if you can get rid of this problem here straight away, Eric, the balls are going to open up quite nice. This is probably the match right here. He's trying to move it like you said. Oh, he might have second prize. Didn't play that gaff, I'm sure. Can he get it? Just bend it a little bit. He's got the 7 there as a bonus ball.
It looks like you can throw it. I mean, these are the kind of shots you have to be behind to see the exact angle. Can't pocket it directly. But talking about playing a bunch of right spin to increase the cutting angle on the 3. It's kind of backing away from the 3, so it might not be there. It's not. So a bit of work to do for Dennis now.
Yeah, maybe 6, 5, 7, and he was looking at that 3 in the side. It's a bit of an acute angle, but if you can land very good behind it, you can just pinch it back a little bit for the 8 in the side. A little bit of work to do here.
Well, at the end of the rack, the 7 could be gone before the 3, so he could be opening up the bottom right for the 3.
I don't know what he's played there.
He's off it. Nice. Maybe trying to get straight on the 5 in the side to get the perfect angle on the 7. But he's missed his mark here. Cue ball playing heavily into a scratch. Looks like he can barely draw out of it, hitting the point. Hitting the point will actually bring him back towards the 3-7, but no doubt he's in trouble here. Yeah, just kind of backed off there, knowing that if he hit the 5 any thinner, he'd be on a scratch. So a chance for Dorner. And this will lead back into Dorner's breaks. Not guaranteed to get out here. Couple problems.
Yeah, a little bit of work. I'm not sure I feel play safe at any point, but I think he can go somewhat aggressive here. There's a few connecting balls.
Smart shot here, able to open up the 13 off the 10 now.
I wonder if you can just draw into it a little bit, Eric, and leave them both kind of on the left-hand long rail. Could give him a nice angle to go down to that 11 and open up the 9. I didn't catch it right. It's still there though. Just means this 9 ball is going to become kind of a little bit of a maybe last chance saloon ball.
Yeah, the 13 can lead on to the 11, and if you get pretty straight on the 11, you can play over to the 9 in the bottom left. It's got a little too much angle here on the 12. Let's go play a good, nice touch hold here.
Yeah, he also missed one of these just a few racks ago, if you remember. Overcut it. Not this time. How's the speed?
This is close to, yeah, this is close to the angle you wanted on the 11. He can play into it. I don't think he can play around the 5. That's his first look to see if the 9 actually passes. I'm surprised he didn't take a look at that earlier. It didn't look like it did from the overhead, Graham, but it looks like he's drawing out of this. Oh, it does go.
Well, makes that all a lot easier then in terms of positional play. It does look from this angle that it doesn't go, so happy days for Yuma if it does. Nice angle to come across here. It's all about weight angle for the 8.
A little too much to hold one rail here, but he can come across 2 rails. Could really kill the cue ball and just go 1. Nice play. And back into a couple breaks now for Dorner, so gonna do his best to hang in with this match.
Yeah, it was a good finish really. I think Dennis will be very frustrated. Of course he knows he still has guaranteed 2 breaks to come anyway, but he would have liked to have finished the match off there and then. And yeah, of course Yuma does have to hold his serve or win his breaks to stay close to Dennis. Doesn't want to give him a chance, but if he can break and run 2 of his breaks without even letting Dennis have a look at the table, that puts the pressure on Dennis's break for sure, Eric.
Yeah, and this is what you're talking about. You know, if it was at this point, kind of in a 1-to-1 alternate break format, you would consider Dennis a real big favorite, just because he kind of has breaks in between his breaks as well. But Yuma can get closer here, and then putting all the pressure on Dennis to hold one of his breaks after that.
Yeah, 100%. Just while they're putting the balls there, the cue ball at the top, Sandra Baumgartner is on the hill against Pierre Filler at 7-5, so everything to do for Pierre there.
Yeah, scratched on 2 breaks now, one of them being kicked in, one directly in, so gotta be a little mindful of the cue ball here. Kick towards the corner, but not in. Nice open table. He's gonna try to start with the 9 here if he can. Play a fair bit of right spin on the cue ball to avoid hitting the 3 on the way back. Nicely done.
And he's taken a few stripes out already, so a little bit of less work to do if you can get a nice angle on this 10. Probably going to run this through with a couple of rails, Eric. Come around.
Yeah, crossing the angle a little bit, but pretty big landing zone. Quick work here, and back within 3.
Yeah, if you can get a couple of quick racks in, that's exactly what you need. Don't want to get bogged down in loads of problems and trying to figure out crazy runouts and opening balls and all kinds of drama. So just what the doctor ordered. Pretty solid break, nice opening ball, and the rest was pretty formality from there. A couple of good positional shots. That must have been what, Less than 2 minutes. It's very quick.
Yeah. Yeah, Dorner has a bright future in the game. I can see it. Especially with the composure around the table, and especially, you know, been trailing the whole match. Don't really see much emotion from him. Just kind of ready to get up and take his chance.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be dangerous. He's already dangerous. A lot of the German, like we said, young players are incredibly talented. And for sure, people will be keeping an eye on these as they go globally to all these events.
Huge break again from Dorner. 3, maybe 4 balls down, 3 down. Just gonna definitely want to favor solids here because of where the 13 is. Might even be forced to play a 3-ball combo here.
Yeah, can he play the 4-ball? Don't think so.
It's actually just having a
the strike goes past the 2-ball in the corner.
Yeah, it does actually. Thought he would never be able to pocket it, but it does slide into the left side, so he's going to go stripes here.
Be great if he can get rid of that 12 as well. It's also a little bit of a interesting spot. It doesn't go past the 8-ball. Choosing to get rid of this now.
Nine ball's going to be slightly tough. Yeah, the 9.
Yeah, I was just going to say the only thing I could see, Eric, would be his position to the 8-ball. There's a little bit of traffic in the middle of the table, so how he lands. What's he played here? A little bit awkward queuing. Also, he's going to play the stripe into the rail, so that means the cue ball is running towards the 11 and 9 a little bit. This needs a bit of care on how he's going to manufacture the position on his next ball.
Yeah, ideally he'd like to play a bunch of lefts, but look, he's avoiding the 13 altogether. He knows he's heading towards the 11-9 too much. So missable ball coming up here for Dorner. Going back over to the 13 angle. Maybe just having a look at how easy it'll be to attack it from different areas where he's trying to leave the cue ball. Nice shot. Well, he's straighter on the 13 now, but almost a little too straight to play comfortably into the side on the 9. He can, it's just a little tough to get kind of exactly straight, which would play a little better towards the 8. You wouldn't really want any angle going to the left off the 9 here.
Yeah, probably drop this in with just loads of left-hand, right-hand spin. Let the cue ball just drift over. This is the shot I was talking about. Not sure on his angle. If he can run forward and go to the left side of the 4, that would be perfect. He's not getting involved in any kind of gaps or trying to find something crazy. No, he can.
Nicely played. Well, once again, Dorner's held up his end of the breaks here. He's done this twice now where he's broken around both his breaks. Opportune time, back against the wall, gets it done. Breaks back over to Dennis now.
Yeah, that's all he can do. Nothing more he can do. Dennis's breaks are out of his hands, so like you say, he did what he had to do. Now Dennis, well, he has 2 chances to win the match right here. Otherwise, it will be 2 chances to Yuma to win the match if Dennis doesn't hold his serve. And judging by the way Yuma is breaking, Dennis will 100% want to avoid that without all costs. So here we go. Dennis hoping for a pretty nice break. Just taking a bit more time on this. He knows the importance. Dennis is a quick player, but this is very big. He wants to get this job done right here, right now. Gets a ball. Where's the cue ball going? It's going to have a stripe dressing up. How are the stripes?
They look
They're
okay.
not bad, Eric. Yeah, they're not bad. And he's got a good start. That 10 ball goes past the 5 on the left side there. A couple of connecting balls down table. This looks good for me. I think maybe the 14 ball is the only one that stands out as a potential issue. Maybe 11 here, then the 12 in the side to get that out of the way. Then it's all about the 14 for me.
Yeah, once the 15 goes, it'll open up the pocket for the 14. He's going to look on to get on the 15 as soon as possible here. Looks like he has a good angle going to the right of the 14 now.
Yeah, it's a shame. He would love to leave that 15 until the end, just to get perfect on the black in the most easiest way possible.
Extension.
Yeah, so as far as key balls going back to the 8, could be the 13, I guess. I don't think the 9 passes the 13. So you'd have to get into kind of a small angle on the 9 to shoot it into the bottom right. So having a think about this, particularly because it's at the end of the match.
Yeah, maybe the 14 might be the ball, you know, Eric. You can play the 15 now. Maybe play from the 10 to get to the 14 at the end. Get rid of these two over the middle now. And then play 10, 14, 8. Because even if he lands off angle on the 14, he can still stun over to the left side of the table and have the 8 in the bottom right as another option. That's also fine.
Good call. I think he's going to take that yeah, he's going to take that pattern, I think. Oh, coming
Maybe
over.
not. Maybe he's using the 9 ball like you said. You can also go down that way. Could choose the 9 and play the 8 in the bottom left. Same pocket as the 14. That's also an option, Eric. He could play that way.
Yeah, as long as the cue ball's going to the right off the 9, he can kind of choose either pocket depending on how it's lying, and he's perfect on the 14 here. So a chance now for Dennis to close the match out and move into the final. Looking for the short side here. I don't mind it, just avoid the 2-6 altogether. And it's there, Graham.
Yeah, it is, and I think, you know, that was a very, very solid break. And Dennis is taking his time a little bit more than normal, but probably a good time to do it, and takes the match 10-7. Big shout out to both players there, especially Yuma Dona hanging in there, but Dennis was a little bit too strong overall. Fantastic match there. Dennis moves into the final, and he will be playing the winner of Joshua and Stefan Kaspers. They will be coming up shortly. And on the other table, Pia Filler against Sandra Baumgartner is tied at 7-6. So you can jump over to table 1 and watch the conclusion of that match. And then following that match, it will be Yasmin Aushin against Maria Teresa Ropero in that second semi-final. That's it from Eric and myself, and we will be back shortly for the next semi-finals. Bye for now.